Right, hello everyone and welcome to Div 2 Semifinals of the CCA League. I am Raphael and tonight I'm joined by Astrum.
Hello, hello! Got a great today between the Carne Inksada fries and Squids at Cal for this Div 2 semis.
Yeah, Div 2 Semi. So I believe Carne, they were first in Group 2A of Division 2 and Squids at Cal made second of Group 2B. So trying to get through my thoughts here, I'm sorry. I know that both of these teams are definitely heavy hitters within Division 2. Cal making it to, I think, third place of Division 2 in Season 2, that was last fall, and Carne just shy of making semifinals last season. But they're in it to win it this time for sure. At the top of their division, they're looking to advance to Grands. We can expect to see. With the stats here, we see that their team KDA for Carne is 1.77. That's better than 1, you know? That's pretty good right there. With average of 4.5 specials per game, average paint of 1,300 per game, and a whopping 73% game win percentage. What do you have to say about that, Aster?
I mean, we love to see anything above like 60% win rate is really good, and having a 74% win rate is exactly what we expect to see in the playoff games. But even so, that is really impressive, having lots of 4-1s and 4-0s in their sets.
Definitely. But Cal has nothing less to show. I mean, they went 4-1 in their own run of Div 2. With, again, a game win percentage of less than 50% whenever you break down each set, though. But this team is still very much capable. Like I said, third place Division 2 Season 2, and they're not going to be intimidated going to tonight's match. We see in game 1, we have that signature strawberry flingza and a try coming out of Carne Inksada.
Is that a Kraken roller?
I think that is. I'm also surprised about the L3D. That's just not a weapon you see a lot of, especially getting stuck with that hammer. But we see both teams rolling out the mid here, and it looks like that flingza painted for their missiles. They want to get their special. Carne opted for the slow approach before trying to contest mid.
Roller getting picked off really early, trying to go for some kind of flank, getting called out early. That might provide some opening, or at least a special advantage for Carne to abuse as they just fight for mid-point paint right now.
Definitely. It's just kind of scrapping around, and then we have the drinks online on the side of Carne Inksada. But people going down left and right, neither team getting very much mileage out of it yet. Those triples going into the garden, Cal's triples going into Carne's garden, not finding the picks they need. Carne answering right back.
One sneaks by and puts the ball in.
That was really nice clam sneak from Cal there. Unfortunately, not finding the mileage they need off of that that bit of last desperate effort right there. Carne's going to get mid off of this, and they're going to hit back even harder with their own first push.
Beautiful crab, finding the assist on 2, putting in the clam to the basket, and getting a couple more clams in to take the lead. Are they going to get the jump in?
I think they're going to get the jump in, bringing it all the way down to 42.
Beautiful push by the Carne Inksada prize. Very good. You like to see a push greater than 50 on your first push is being very impressive, putting a lot of pressure on the opponent to score.
Definitely, and just answering back, you know, that even bigger push of their own after Cal sneaks that clam in. That's going to set the tone for the rest of the game, but we still have 3 minutes left, and this could go either way.
Absolutely. Paint is looking in the side of the Carne Inksada fries with their team comp is a little bit better, I'd say, in putting out some paint.
Yeah, Carne definitely has the paint advantage here, especially between that flingza and that splash. You know, things like I don't really think L3 can paint like it used to, and Stringer's crack on roller, not going to put out the same amount of turf. We see
if the weapon
Austin
has
here
a beacon,
hanging back. I'm sorry.
if the weapon has a beacon, it's not painting. It's too expensive. And Carne scores
yeah.
another clam, bring their penalty down to 9. Not gonna be able to find any follow-up, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, no, they probably shouldn't have tried forcing that. We saw that roller kind of just run in on their own, just desperate to try and get something going. But instead it just staggered their momentum a little more, and looks like Cal is getting their clam economy, building that up. Still not able to find their way into mid, though. As it looks like Carne is just sitting posted up, keeping them out.
Very neutral type of game on this map.
Definitely. We have a lot of specials
popping.
online, though.
Yeah, we see some specials popping. Those trip strikes trying to create some space. Not really much follow-up, but one does go down to the roller on the side.
Strawberry jumping out is an interesting choice. I wonder if they're looking to pop their missiles. We see that crab going off. Missiles following it up would be really good right here. Carne is not playing around that crab as well as they could have, unfortunately. That could have been huge for them. I don't want to say it's a missed opportunity, but it kind of is. A missed opportunity, though, that they don't even need. They're finding the double on Cal. Able to pick off that hammer, too, backing themselves out of the corner. We see Austin on the stringer trying to keep them away from the basket, but it is not enough, and they're able to sneak in force in two power clams, rather. And they're
not done yet.
Octobrush still finding more picks.
Oh, not finding the next clam, though. Unfortunate.
Unfortunately, no.
With 1 minute left and that big of a lead, I don't think it matters that much.
Right. And they have drinks up in Cal's ramp. They are not backing out. Okay, well, they're backing out now that the triples have come in. Cal's looking, they're finding with a double and a Kraken going, all aimed at the middle of the map. They're finding their way back in, finally. They don't manage to get the pick, and with the Octobrush flanking.
Beautiful brush flank from bottom mid. And trying to find the last one, making sure that no jumps can come in at all.
It looks like they don't find the pick, but still that was a beautiful zip cast from Dashing, and we see that it looks like Insano Cat has their crab back on that ramp. That is a really impressive position. Cal is gonna scramble to grab that pity so they can at least try to hold on to overtime, but 3 seconds left on the clock. Carne is going to take game 1 from Cal. Ooh.
Yeah, wow, that was
Ooh.
really decisive from the side of Carne Inksada prize.
I really liked, definitely. We saw the way they positioned their specials throughout that game was really well thought out. I mean, we saw they kept getting that crab up on ramp. Whenever there's a crab in that spot right there, you have to respect it. It's got a straight line of sight into your spawn, and you can try to sneak into AC over to the left right there, but I mean, you have an entire tank just aimed right at that basket. That's going to create a lot of forward momentum for your team. As we saw, it did for Carne so many times throughout that match.
Absolutely. If you combine that with missiles, there's almost nowhere to move.
Right. And we definitely saw a lot of missiles coming out from Strawberry on the side of Carne. A really good special pair, and just good awareness of playing around their team specials. I know they had a few missed opportunities in there, but they know how to play as a unit, which I really admire. And Squids Cal, I think for one thing, I think that the map Flounder Heights did not lend themselves to their comp. I don't think we saw Squids Cal in their full force right there. I mean, they have 2 short-range weapons, you know, the L3 and the Crack-On Roller, on such a funky funky stage.
And something like Zone's Mako Mart, though, very close quarters combat on those stacks might be much better for them.
Definitely, and I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of sharking going around those stacks from their Crack-On Roller if they decide to pull it back out. I do have to wonder though, maybe they would opt for V-Roller, since Kraken doesn't really do a ton in zone, you know? You turn into a giant squid that can't paint for 8 seconds. That's almost more of a handicap than anything else.
Yep. Beacon's not really good, the map's too small, Kraken's not really good, gun zones, it's just not a good map for Crack-On Roller.
Definitely.
I do want to see Reef Slider with some special power though, because I think it would be funny. I want to see someone pull out those Tetra Dualies or maybe the blue Dapples. I think it'd be funny. I don't know if it would be good, but insta-capping zone is a tool that is in the game again.
Right, there's merit there. There's definitely merit there. And I know we, let's see. Does anyone in Cal play Tetras? I want to say they might have a Tetra player.
Maybe.
I don't know. I know that Jim does play Inkbrush historically. So I feel like it could be kind of up in the air between whether we see the V-Brush or the L3D again. I feel like we're probably more liable to see that L3D just because burst support can go so far into helping out the rest of its team. And I would be surprised if we see the Tri-Slosher coming out of both sides on this map, just because this is a try map right here.
But the question can sometimes be which try, because Inkjet's a useful special now.
Yeah,
we don't
true.
see Tri-Slosher though. We do see the V-Roller come out, and we're seeing a heavy Splatling coming out on the side of the Carne Inksada fries.
Definitely an interesting comp there, effectively running double backline with, you know, the position Flings is in right now. But, we're gonna see both teams kind of just, again, scrambling for mid. Cal gets the first cap on the zone, but Carne with that slow approach again, getting their specials and answering back even harder like we saw in game 1. They find their way onto zone, maybe a little more slowly than they would have liked, but getting a double on Cal, they're able to force their way up.
I love the staggered specials. They use the missiles and the crab to get those first couple initial picks, and then they stagger those specials to just keep them off the zone, keep that timer ticking.
Right. Uh-oh. And we do see the V-Roller from Cal this time. It looks like he almost got a flank there, but just shy of it. He gets that bubble set up on zone, though. Really good bubble placement, like you said. And Cal's going to find themselves taking the zone. And again, not getting it. Not for long, no.
But you know, maybe they're just trying to put a little bit more setup here, but unfortunately the roller getting picked off from Carne Inksada fries actually has two specials online, throwing out the wave breaker, throwing out. It looks like I'm not sure what their other specials were.
It looks like they had that hammer going in the zone, trying to get a pick by throwing it. It was a nice throw, but it didn't find the kill they probably wanted. Carne is finding themselves sitting right on zone again. But both teams up. Cal with the special advantage, finding a really important pick on Strawberry Shark in that right stack. Cal's going to find their way back into the zone, contesting it, forcing Carne off their own stack, and chasing Cat back into the far left corner of that map. Cal is finding themselves in a really strong position here. If they can play lockout right, they're more than likely to take lead, I would say.
Absolutely, and they've got a really good roller positioning on that ledge, making the heavy uncomfortable, making them take a further back position than they might want to. Trip strikes coming out, getting cancelled by the ledge demon himself.
The zone contested right at 52. Cal's gonna really have to hold on. They're so close to getting lead. It's just a firefight over zone, and they're able to cap and find that lead. Getting a double? No, a single, but almost a double on Carne. Cal might be able to swing the momentum in this game in their favor right here. Bringing it all the way down to 30, and they aren't showing any signs of slowing.
One does go down inside Carne. You don't want to see that happen, but those trips neutralizing the zone and securing the cap, even though you're one down. Really important cap there, preventing the knockout.
Oh, and we see Strawberry going for a flank here, just missing the double. That could have been huge, but trading right back with Cal's roller, Nesca. And we see Carne rolling back out the zone. They have the numbers advantage, so they're able to take it. And Cal's gonna have to play this carefully if they want to get themselves back in the ring.
Absolutely, we might see an aggressive crab possibly now that some tools have been used, and we do see the crab getting displaced by the whale there. However, special for special trade, 40 points remaining on the scoreboard, very close to the lead flipping.
Yes, and here in the overhead, we see Nesca trying to draw that aggro away, draw it to the bubble, tank that fire, and Cal's able to take the zone off of that. They're a little clustered together, and those triples really fragment their position. But with the numbers advantage on Carne, they might be able to bounce back. Carne is just... Okay, yes, So we see Cal manages hold on the zone. Lead is very close. Cal just has a 5-point lead. This game could still go either way. Oh my goodness.
1 minute remaining. This is the moment that counts. And the splash going in. Getting 2 very important picks, and that timer's ticking down. 3 down on the side of Squids at Cal, as we only have 10 points remaining of this penalty and a little bit more to go to take the lead.
Ooh, that was just such a huge play by Cat right there. Carne getting the crab posted up on that right stack, bringing the lead all the way down to 8, and Cal in a hard stagger, they might not be able to... Carne knocks them out in the last minute of the game. Oh, that was a close match.
Absolutely. Very clutch play by that Splash, just going all in for that double kill on the right.
Oh yeah, they saw an opening and they dove for it, and they were well rewarded. That really set the tone. That was probably what started that stagger on Cal that let Carne get themselves all the way down to knockout.
Absolutely.
But here we see Nesca going for that shark again. This was whenever they were able to force that heavy a little out of position, kind of almost funneling all of Carne onto that right stack so that Cal was just able to throw all their bombs, throw everything they had at that one point. But here this is whenever Carne turned the tides back in their favor. I think this is just before Cat goes for that double? No. What point of the match is this? This... Okay. I'm not following along, you guys. I'm so sorry. What do you have to say about this, Aster, since you are probably a little more on tabs than I am?
I mean, it's just a lot of back and forth. The zone keeps flipping back and forth, and this point right here is the moment where, okay, we won a defensive hold and got a little bit of extra credit on top of that. That's just super important. Like, once you win that defensive hold and you get a couple more down, keeping them staggered is just, it's so good.
Definitely, definitely. And going into game 3, we're gonna see tower control on Museum. So if you're Cal right now, you know you're down 2 games, but it's a best of 9, so your opponent still has to take what, 3 more before they can take the set. Cal is still very much in this game. I think that Splat Zones match just showed us that even though they kind of got stomped in game 1, they are no lesser of a contender than Carne is. What sorts of adjustments do you think they're going to need to make to their playstyle going into the rest of the set?
I'm actually not sure. I think they need to just use their specials as a team, and also make sure they don't die to Carne's special coordination. Make sure that if they have to give up some space to not die to Missile Crab, give up that space.
Right, and that's kind of what we've been seeing Carne do at the beginning of these last 2 games. Like I said, they were opting for that slow approach. They were giving Cal mid, at the beginning of the map, but whenever they built up their specials, they were able to just take it right back for themselves and usually get a pretty good opening push out of it. I think if we see Cal kind of adjust to counter that strategy, maybe playing for specials of their own before contesting mid, we could really see something shift around in the rhythm of these games.
Right, absolutely. I want to see a crack-on roller come out on this map, because I think it's funny.
Also,
Gamers don't look
control.
up. Yeah, it's tower control. It's like the one good mode it's really good on. Gamers don't look up, so you can put beacons on the top of spinner, and a lot of people won't see it.
Right.
Very
with the entire, focus of the game being painted on the ground,
yeah,
more or less. Who would expect it to be up in the sky?
Well, I think E-Leader could be an interesting choice if either team wants to. I think Stringer definitely should come out here. Stringer on tower control puts a lot of pressure on the tower and has the ability to just indefinitely stall it if needed.
Right. We've seen that Stringer come out of Austin both game 1 and 2. I feel like if we're gonna see it again, this is definitely the mode we're gonna see it in. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Enzo back on the heavy splatling either. I was a little surprised whenever Carne went for the Flings a heavy pair. In my mind, I was thinking that the Flings would play more like a backline. But we saw Strawberry going for some really aggressive plays and finding some mileage out of it too. So if they know how to play in a pair like that, then we could very well see it again coming into the game 3.
Absolutely. And going into TC on the museum, we see the Hydra coming out on the Carne side, a little bit more range, and we do see V-Charger. Interesting.
V-Charger is an interesting pick. Not a lot of people opt for the vac these days, but I'm more interested in Jim's Blaster coming out. Not even a range, but we have a range on the side of Carne too. When did that happen? Oh my god, what are these comps, man?
Range Blaster is beautiful on this map, and as we see, getting the pick on the regular... Wait, yeah. Wait, is this just the regular Blaster?
Yeah, this is Jim on the regular Blaster.
Jim on the regular Blaster.
Opening double.
Beautiful picks, and that's gonna allow them to take the tower. Trips slightly off their mark, one going down to Crab.
Yeah, so Cal almost got a huge opening push out of that, but just shy of finding the momentum they needed. Carne held their ground and didn't let them pull forward. So yeah, we see
double
two
Booyah coming out.
Double Booyah coming out.
Not finding a pick, and in fact, actually, remember, when you Booyah, you're taking yourself out of the fight, and that just allows the Blaster to just take care of your entire backline.
And I mean, yeah, that's what we saw right there. Cal got the delayed wipe on Carne. Blue Kashi finding a double with the crab. Oh, Cal is flooding into Carne's flat, having them in a hard stagger. They're gonna get it.
Oh, you can't be charging that Fizzy in front of the Blaster. Their Blaster all the way into the enemy spawn.
Ooh, Cal is bringing this possibly all the way to the final.
Vacuum getting popped to get some extra points on there, you know. It's one thing Vacuum's actually good for, is getting those extra points. Squids at Cal do get wiped out before bringing the points all the way down to 20.
And I mean, 3.5 minutes left in the game. That was Cal's first push even. That's talk about setting the tone. We see the
here we go, the splash! Sharking, getting the double, finding the triple. Can they find the quad? They don't know where the quad is. They choose to jump out. Huge momentum swing for Carne.
Definitely, definitely. And we see that they have that crab at the ready whenever they need it. They could use it just to, I mean, stall out a checkpoint if they need to. Dashing here, finding, just sharking around, trying to get at that crab. Breaking the crab, canceling the crab. Unfortunately, Jim shuts them down in their tracks.
But double Booyah, putting out so much pressure and actually finding a pick.
Carne's pushing forward. They're not showing any signs of slow.
Lead.
With two respawning from Cal, Carne's able to take the lead, and they find two more picks. We see someone from Cal rushing at the tower, but getting killed in the process. Their Chargers looking at the tower from behind, but they aren't in position to stop, and Carne is able to hit right back and get the knockout. Oh, talk about a game.
Wow. That just... The splash just being allowed to duel everyone is insane.
Definitely, definitely. I'm not sure what that player's name is. I was wrong earlier. Cat is not on the splash, but whoever Carne's splash is doing a really... They're putting out a spectacular showing tonight. And shout out to Jim's Blaster too. Like, that opening play was huge.
Absolutely.
I wasn't expecting to see a Blaster out here in CCA, but I mean, we saw it and it worked for them. What can I say?
Yeah, they had a lot of kind of defensive specials, like with the vac and the bubbler, and then letting their splashes have those aggressive trip strike and crab. Very interesting comp, but at the end of the day, not the best specials to really defend with other than the trip strikes.
Yeah. Oh, and here we see that huge triple coming out from Carne. That's talk about setting up a push.
Absolutely. That shark, they got there so fast, no one was expecting it, and they all just lined up. Oof.
Yeah. And yes, here we see Carne getting a knockout. Cal just was hard. They had them in that hard stagger. Their Charger was trying to find a position where they could, you know, get some picks on tower, but they just didn't have the firepower to contest 3 people all riding that thing right to KO.
Right.
So Carne has themselves in a position where they're up 3-0. They're probably feeling pretty secure in being able to take this entire set for themselves. But we saw those last two games. Those were some close, explosive, but very close games nonetheless. Um,
And speaking of explosive, we got Rainmaker Scorch Gorge. Very fast-paced game mode here on a very large map, though.
Definitely, definitely. And on a large map like this, I feel like it's just going to lend itself again probably to Carne's longer range comps that we've been seeing. I mean, on Cal, we've been seeing like rollers, blasters, L3. Those are all weapons that don't really thrive in a big open environment like what you have on Scorch.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see
Um,
something like a Splatana Stamper, like Splatana Stamper, Splash, maybe a leader. I'm just listing I'm just comps.
yeah. um, I feel like we're definitely gonna see Enzo on Splatling again. You're gonna want that object damage for the Rainmaker bubble in
Mm-hmm.
this mode, but I in theory, the Hydra would be a good pick because of how it shuts down the short-range weapons of Cal. But on a more mobile mode like Rainmaker, you're probably just going to want that Heavy to move around a little better. Um,
Right.
Other than that, what sorts of weapons do you think we could see them pull out? I
Um,
mean,
Machine is really good here. To pressuring the pole is really important on this map,
definitely.
and Machine is definitely one of the best tools to do it. And we're
And we
going
see, yeah,
in heavy splatling and a lot of close range. Inksada! Haven't seen an
interesting
N
pick.
Haven't seen an NZAP in a while. Very interesting. Double Trick Strike is their only aggressive special for Squids at Cal. Other than that, they just have a vacuum and soda. Not a lot of pushing power there.
Right, right. Maybe
Oh, you
there's.
have soda? What?
I mean, okay. Yeah, and we see.
Two go down on Squids at Cal, trading with the brush. Crab trying to find one more, finding another pick, but the soda bringing them back into the fight pretty quickly. Putting a lot of pressure, good bomb pressure, stalling the Rainmaker, waiting for the teammates. NZAP trying to fight a 1v4, not finding it, but those tricks, maybe finding it with a touch of death, but not quite. His checkpoint not being able to be capped. Strawberry getting doubled before running away.
What did we just see there? That Rainmaker was backed into the corner. They didn't go down. They held their ground, and Carne is getting right back into the swing of things. Strawberry getting some huge jumps for their team, looking to bring it past that first catch. We see that Cal Charger is
Getting
in
another
at it.
finding a
The
quad!
splash! Oh my god! If you're Carne Splash, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. You see them flood that plat. They're picking off all the stragglers. Dashing, backing that Charger into a corner, getting the pick. Carne is just taking these kills left and right. They are not slowing down. They're bringing that Rainmaker forward all the way up to the first check, getting the wipe on Cal again, and just sweeping Game 4 right off the bat.
That was incredibly quick.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, that was barely a minute-long game right there. Ooh, Carne bringing this all the way to match point before Cal can even find any traction of their own.
Right, and going into another clams match, if you're Squids Cal, you're not happy about Game 5 being clam blitz again.
Right. But here we see this was a really weird interaction, to say the least. We see that Strawberry and I believe it was Dashing were able to hold that ground after that Rainmaker was backed in the corner with trips. The Vax slowing down their momentum, but they were still able to find, I think, one more pick to level out Cal's numbers. But never mind that, because here we see Carne's Splash getting that quad that they got earlier, and that was what set them up for the knockout, getting Cal in that hard stagger. They just were a little too impatient. They didn't quite take the time they needed to regroup. We see they kept trickling in off that right, off that bats, and just trickling right into Carne's arms, where they were able to bring that Rainmaker all the way to that pedestal and just...
Yeah. What a decisive game. Just immediately, just getting that 2-for-1 trade on the brush and then just going full forward after that, just being like, They don't have any defensive specials. All they have is trip strikes. That's it.
Right, right. They just didn't really have any great initiators. I mean, we saw the strikes were able to back them into a corner, but that's really not that large a window of pressure that strikes put out compared to something like Crab or heck even
Crab,
Zipcaster.
missiles, killer whale.
Right. Um,
Even something like a wave breaker can slow down a push.
yeah, definitely. We saw that Vac coming out of Cal again, but unfortunately, I just don't think that's the special they need right now. Just Vac not being in a great spot. Like, we saw it technically slow down Carne right there, but not by a lot. And they were able to, I mean, jump right back in after. So
Back
it'll
is
be
like
interesting.
a tent shield that doesn't do damage.
Yeah.
And tent shield's already kind of.
It's more or less just a glorified Toxic Mist, and I mean,
Yeah.
Mist already isn't even the best sub, but we're gonna, I mean, match point for Carne here. Let's see if Cal is at least able to put something on the scoreboard for themselves. Like I've been saying, these games are close. Carne hasn't dropped one of their own yet, but we saw that tower control, we saw how explosive it was, we saw how close those scores and zones were too. Unfortunately for Cal, you know, that Rainmaker game and that first Clams game they didn't find a lot of traction in them. But going into Game 5 Clam Blitz, maybe they'll be able to redeem themselves from Flounder Clams.
Absolutely. And I think they need something like a machine here, and a lot of supportive paint to make sure that Splash just can't move around freely, and at least have something to outrange it consistently and fight it.
Right. I just haven't been seeing very ranged comps coming out of Cal. I mean, they had the T-Tech and the Inzap, which, you know, some solid mid-range options, but they're just struggling to outcompete Carne with, especially how fast Carne is to take space. I find they really do a great job of moving as a unit whenever they're going up.
Nautilus is their solution. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Sacrificing a little bit of paint for a little bit more range. Inkstorm, Whale, Bubble, very interesting special comp. And on Carne, we see something a little bit more conventional. Except for that Dynamo, what?
I had to do a double take. I didn't register that the first time. Yeah, whoa. Maybe getting a little comfortable on their match point here. Looking to see if we can test out some options going into Game 5.
Something going on the left side. It looks like the brush going down. Something, Carne grabbing their sodas, preparing for a push. Unfortunately, they are one down, so they're going to have to use it defensively.
Unfortunately, yeah.
What?
I'm not sure what we saw right there.
Anyways, they're gonna use that pick to back them up all the way into plat. Squids using the killer whale to try to stall for time there, but their Inksada going down is not what you like to see. No power clam built on Carne and Inksada Fries. They just want to hold mid and build up their econ.
Yeah, we see the game kind of in a stalemate for the first minute here. Carne finally has that power climb, but they're losing it in mid. But they're popping their specials to take space, but they let the power climb break. And just like that, they're out of a push.
They have so much space, but no clams to cash in on it.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Carne, it looks like Cal is coming right back, forcing them out of their plat, taking back what's rightfully theirs. Drinks lives to Cal. They're rolling back out to mid, but
finding two with the trip strikes, and now they have the clams to actually cash in. Finding a double clam push, putting the bubbling up.
It looks like their Splash is trying to sneak in a few more clams, but unfortunately that's the most mileage they can find out of this first push, bringing it down to 54. But Cal coming back, they're cleaning out their plat, rolling back out to mid. But are they going to be able to get much further than that? We haven't really seen them make a push of their own yet this game. They've just been so staggered. We see Nesta going in for a deep flank right here. Oh, and unfortunately getting picked down in the process. Carne answering back with their trip strikes. They're taking back mid, as we've been seeing them do this entire game.
Okay.
And,
Back
yeah.
into neutral. Just very neutral gameplay. Trips coming out on the side of Carne. They want to make another push. Soda coming out as well. They're trying to find an opening here. Booyah Bomb ready. 2 power clams on the deck here. Booyah Bomb is going to be coming out, being popped. Unfortunately, their splash does go down. 2 do get picked, however. Trying to find those clams in. Misses the first one. Trying to find the second.
And the
Misses the
second
second
one.
one.
I thought they missed the third one for a second there too. That's really unfortunate for Carne and Inksada Fries, but this might finally be the mileage that Cal needs to get a push going of their own. We've seen that they've just been so staggered throughout this entire game, but they're really going to be able to move up on this. It looks like they're trying to clear that left stack. Trips from Carne going to be holding them right off.
Oh, and beautiful shot by the stringer there. 1 down on each side. Squids at Cal needs to take mid pressure, needs to be more confident about taking the paint space that they can. Nautilus finding the Dynamo Roller. This could be what Squids at Cal needs to find a push, but unfortunately, that suction bomb finds the roller, shutting them down. Back to mid control.
Definitely, we saw Gem and Nesca almost cooking something on the left side of the map right there, but they weren't able to find it. It looks like Dashing is going for a deep flank, following up those trips. Really nice awareness of your teammate specials. He isn't able to find the picks, but he is able to find a great deal of space off of that. And just like that, Cal finds himself stuck right back in their plat.
The picks are being found by Squids at Cal, but they're just not taking as much space as I'd like them to with it.
Right. I feel like they just need to work a little better as moving as a unit. Maybe some of that could be that they're
coming in. A splash trying to abuse those trips, but actually going 2 down. This is Squids at Cal's chance. 3 down with the speed of the Soda, all drugged up. Let's put that clam in.
Camden beelining for that net. Their teammates following up. They're able to find a few more clams in, and they have enough for lead here. But unfortunately, they go down in the process. Carne wipes them right back out.
20 seconds left.
Right, 20 seconds left. Cal is, if they're able to find, they are able to find the power clam. We see Dashing getting the pick on Jim though. That clam is up in the air right there. That timer is ticking down.
They do recover it. They will get overtime now. However, they don't have a lot of time. 20 seconds to put that clam in now. But going 2 down is not what you like to see in overtime. Splash looking to seal the deal, but maybe getting a little too aggressive. This might be their chance to push it out. 2 go down. On Squids. Oh,
getting a little too trigger happy on the forward momentum there. If they held back a little longer, Carne was coming right at them. They probably could have taken advantage of that. But unfortunately for Carne and Inksada Fries, they managed to hold Cal off long enough to get that overtime timer expired. And Carne and Inksada Fries are going to be advancing to Div 2 Grand Finals.
absolutely. And with a 5-0 like that, you are feeling good about it. You've got a real shot at winning this thing.
Right, they're going to be ready to put on a strong showing next weekend. But this isn't the end of the road for Squids at Cal yet either. Assuming they don't play a best of 9 tonight, which I think we'll assuming they don't play all 9 tonight, which I'm thinking we probably will, CCA tradition, you know. But Cal is still going to be able to advance to their own 3rd place match, where they found themselves last season actually. 3rd place Division 2 Season 2. So who's to say they can't do it again this season, you know?
Absolutely. You know, at least, you know, you gotta prove that you haven't gone down at any rankings, you know, prove that you still got it at least.
Right, and I mean, Division 2 is probably one of the most competitive divisions in CCA this season. Again, I mean, I think it was like, what, both groups had like a 5 candidates for playoffs during reschedule week of all things. So even though, you know, even though the teams coming out on top, that's not to say any less of the teams that didn't make it there. All of these teams have been putting on a really strong showing. And are we gonna see play all 9?
No, we are not.
No play all 9. Okay, so no play all 9 tonight, but still really exciting. Those were just some of the closest games I've calmed this season, probably. really good job. Bravo, hands together for both Carne and Inksada Fries who are advancing to semis. And good luck to Cal going into your third place match. But with that, I think that might be us signing off tonight. So, Aster, where can the good people of the internet find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Splataster. I just post beacon clips. That's about it. And where can they find you, Raphael?
They can also find me on Twitter at LRaffi. You just slap that L at the beginning of my name. I post, I think. I don't know.
Sometimes. Well, this has been the CCA, and we'll see you next time.